Planned Parenthood is its name. Few realize and understand among the masses that Planned Parenthood had a founder. Who was it that founded Planned Parenthood? The person that founded Planned Parenthood, that created Planned Parenthood, was a woman by the name of Margaret Sanger. Now let me read to you some of the quotes from Margaret Sanger. Number one, the most merciful thing that the large family does to one of its infant members is to kill it. Listen to this next quote. Margaret Sanger, the founder of Planned Parenthood. We should apply a stern, rigid policy of sterilization and segregation to that grade of population whose progeny is tainted or whose inheritance is such that objectionable traits may be transmitted to the offspring. Segregate them, sterilize them. Another quote. The purpose of the American Baby Code shall be to provide for a better distribution of babies and to protect society against the propagation of increase of the unfit humans. She went on to say, give unfit groups, unfit people, this was written in the 30s, give unfit groups people with bad genes. In our population, their choice of segregation or sterilization. April 32, Birth Control Review, page 108. Then Margaret Sanger said, birth control must lead ultimately to a cleaner race. That is the founder of Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger. The founder of Planned Parenthood. The segregation and the unfit ones that she was speaking of was primarily the black race. Now, those who have studied among our black leaders in office, it is very clear this. Anyone that is able to go and study the history of a flag, and because somebody went and done something, and there was a picture of them with a Confederate flag, you go and tear down the monuments, you destroy, not even knowing that flag wasn't used in battle. Go tear down in New Orleans, want to tear down the statue of Robert E. Lee, not even knowing that Robert E. Lee never owned a slave, the leader of the Confederate Army, never owned a slave and said that it was a moral evil. You can know the history that don't exist. But whenever it comes to Planned Parenthood, organized and designed by its founder to get rid of unfit races, your black leaders, they pretend they know nothing of its history, but they know who Margaret Sanger is, and they know where Planned Parenthood came from, and they know what it was organized to do. Here are some more things that was said by Margaret Sanger.
The following editorial was published in the 1932 issue of the Birth Control Review.
The Negro problem is one of the most complicated and important confronting America. Whatever the ultimate answer may be, such an attitude brings to light the function of birth control as a necessary agency in its solution.
The Negro problem, Ms. Sanger writes, the solution, birth control, Planned Parenthood, the solution to the Negro problem, abortion. Ms. Sanger goes on.
If any question should remain about Sanger's racist agenda, a 1939 letter she wrote to Dr. Clarence Gamble should remove all doubt.
We should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is a man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members.
We don't want the word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro race. Words of Margaret Sanger. So we need to hire black preachers to stop this from getting out. Because the black race, Margaret Sanger said, can be held in line by religion. Now this is how come you have Reverend Jesse Jackson, who ain't never had a church in his life and owns a beer factory. This is why you have Reverend Al Sharpton, who ain't never pastored a church that I'm aware of in his life. This is why you have Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Religion of Islam. These was the words from Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington, 1865 to 1915, was an educator, an author, an orator, an advisor to American presidents, and himself a former slave. He said, "There is another class of colored people who make a business of keeping the troubles, the wrongs, and the hardships of the Negro race before the public, having learned that they are able to make a living out of their troubles. They have grown into a settled habit of advertising their wrongs, partly because they want sympathy and partly because it pays. Some of these people do not want the Negro to lose his grievances because they do not want to lose their jobs." The hired of Margaret Sanger, the hired so-called reverends, still in practice today. And this is how come the Farrakhan's, this is how come the Sharptons supports the Democratic Party that supports 100% Planned Parenthood, founded by Margaret Sanger, the woman that you're listening to right here. And here's a final clip from her.
Hordes of people who are born, who live, yet who have done absolutely nothing to advance the race one iota.
So the black population in America, 14%. 33% of all abortions in America is performed on black children. Exactly what Margaret Sanger said she wanted done is being done, so the abortion clinics and Planned Parenthood is set up always in those communities and on that side of town, as we might say. The Ku Klux Klan, not in defense of them at all, but from the beginning of the keeping of records till now, hung 4,000 some odd blacks, hung 2,000 some odd whites. Now, one was too many. But abortion, Planned Parenthood, started by Margaret Sanger, a racist who gave speeches before the Ku Klux Klan. This is a picture of Margaret Sanger making her speech before the Ku Klux Klan. This is a newspaper article from that day. Sanger delivers burning speech. Local KKK gals hang on every word. And to quote her again, in the speech you just heard from her, she said, "We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. So hire a few ministers to keep them in line." I want you to bear this in mind. There's a man by the name of Trent Lott, was a Republican senator. Trent Lott went and gave a speech on another Republican senator, Strom Thurmond's 100th birthday, the oldest senator. And Mr. Lott, who was going to be the Speaker of the House for the Republicans, said a good word about Strom Thurmond on his 100th birthday and was forced to resign from his spot. While at the same time, the Democratic Party had as its leader in the Senate, and was until the day he died, Senator Byrd, who was a member of the KKK and was one who went out and brought people into the KKK. Never a word said about that. Never a word said about Planned Parenthood. Never a word said about Margaret Sanger. While they push the same party who screams racism over everything that happens, pushing the abortion, Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, murdering of children, and specifically the black race. Now, not only can the Democrats have KKK leaders as their Speaker of the House. I'm talking about in the 1990s. Not a word said about it. But also the leaders among those Democrats. Hillary Clinton. Do they know the history of this woman? Certainly they do.
It was a great privilege when I was told that I would receive this award. I admire Margaret Sanger enormously. Her courage, her tenacity, her vision. I am really in awe of her. And there are a lot of lessons that we can learn from her life and from the cause she launched and fought for and sacrificed so great.
And finally, I would present to you the master of past wrongs and past grievances and past evils done to the black community. The man who stands to their defense and comes to their aid, Barack Obama. The man who has studied the wrongs in America and the racist roots. This same man goes before Planned Parenthood. Do you think Mr. Obama does not know who the founder of Planned Parenthood was? Do you think he does not know she gave speeches to the Ku Klux Klan? Do you think that he does not know she wanted to exterminate the black racists? Do you think he does not know that the abortion clinics are in the black neighborhoods? Do you think that he does not know that the blacks are 14% of the population, 33% of all of them killed in those abortion mills are black? You think he doesn't know all that? But yet he still asks God to bless them.
You've strengthened. That's why no matter how great the challenge, no matter how fierce the opposition, there's one thing the past few years have shown. It's that Planned Parenthood is not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere today. It's not going anywhere tomorrow. Thank you, Planned Parenthood. God bless you.
Shall I be called a racist by some of you for bringing this truth to you? But yet the ones that support Margaret Sanger's organization, they not be called the racists? The ones that supports her organization call me a racist? And some of you, sadly, who by your hired so-called ministers or leaders, follow them in lockstep. God bless you, Margaret Sanger. God bless you, Planned Parenthood. God bless her organization. And God bless the work that she does. Were I to say that to you, you would have every right in this world to call me a racist with me knowing that woman's history and past and the past of Planned Parenthood. But with Barack Obama, he just gets to be the one that calls everybody racist.
The Negro problem is one of the most complicated and important confronting America. Whatever the ultimate answer may be, such an attitude brings to light the function of birth control as a necessary agency in its solution.
Thank you, Planned Parenthood. God bless you.
We should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population.
Thank you, Planned Parenthood. God bless you.